On the
I
rover.
like it. Oh, I'll start by talking my Martian instead of Bohemian.
Kind of the same,
It-
same dialect.
Yeah, it really is, especially after 2 or 3 beers. Oh, yeah, we gotta have fun with it. Oh,
I asked her. Okay, I'll call to order the city council meeting for June 10th, 2021. And please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Steve Cherney,
here.
Kevin Kadada. Here. Tim Rude.
Here.
Cindy Fier,
Here.
and Scott Palava.
Here.
All right. Tonight's agenda goes through 10G. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
No, you're on.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Councilperson Fear, second by Councilman Cherney. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes. Consider approval of the minutes of the May 20th, 21 meeting, special meeting, and the May 27th, 2021 regular meeting. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes?
No, you're on.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second.
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no public hearings. Presentation of citizens' petitions and comments. Comments limited to 2 minutes. So if you're not on the agenda, now is your opportunity to speak. Okay, there is nothing on the consent agenda. There is no old business. On to new business. Consider approval of application for payment number 3 in the amount of $3,857 to key contractors for the police facility project. Melissa Steinwald, welcome.
Hello, Mayor, council members. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. Yeah, so I am here to approve, or to kind of give an update as well to you all about how construction's going. And so, as you can see, we've been moving some dirt. We have the fencing up. Key Contractors is on site and they have a trailer mobilized. We are, preparing to dig for footings, and we'll be pouring the footings next week to kind of get everything started. So soon here, we'll have a building coming out of the ground.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
yeah.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Wald, or any questions on the pay request?
Weren't the footings supposed to be dug like 2 weeks ago, or, no?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, we are still on schedule from our construction schedule that was shown at the pre-con.
The original, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so the schedule will be under the change order, I suppose. We'll talk about that in the next item. Any questions or issues with the pay request, anyone?
Motion to approve the pay request, by $3,857 to key contractors.
Motion by Councilman
Second.
Palava, second by Councilman
All
Kadada.
right, I do have a question for you, for us.
Okay,
Uh,
further
or maybe
discussion?
Actually, for the discussion, should I hold that?
Wait, is it for the pay request, or is it for the?
Yes, it's for the pay request.
Okay, yeah,
I just-
then we should
just
talk about
came- Okay, Melissa, Brian, will Melissa come before us every time there's a pay request?
Yes, so that was, someone from Wold will be here every time to give an update to you guys so that you're aware of what we're doing construction-wise and project-wise and just.
With respect to the question though, when there's a pay request for payment, can Joel just sign the check himself and send it off with with the mayor signing it and Tammy? Or will you be coming and justifying it and tell us, hey, there's gonna be a pay request, just like you did tonight?
Yeah, yep, so
Yes.
we'll be here, yep, and any change order, which is the next one, we will be here to
Oh, okay.
be here if there's
Yeah,
any
Please
questions
don't ever
or-
abandon us,
No.
because you're our lifeline. Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
Okay,
any further discussion?
no.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of change order number 1 and to amend the Lonza Police Facility project substantial completion date to March 7th, 2022. Melissa Stein.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, as you guys know, we did send kind of a cover letter of a report explaining why that change has occurred. Last time we were up here, I think right after the groundbreaking, we did say that the date had extended a little bit. We know what that is officially, and we would like to officially change the contract documents to be March 7th.
And it seems like it's attributed to the supply chain and materials and all that.
It is,
Okay.
yes, yep.
Melissa, Your Honor, if I may.
Sure.
Melissa, how do we guard against this in the future, that it doesn't happen and happen and happen and happen and happen?
Yes, yep, so we are doing our best.
Well, I
at-
know
at-
you guys, but
Yep, yeah.
is there
no,
anything we can do to give you more teeth, or should we revisit the contract, or what? Because we don't want to be sitting here going, well, they're blaming on Go Ahead again. You know, I mean, I see construction all over the metro area, and, you know, it's.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a couple things that we can do. So
Okay.
in our office, we're tracking any delays of anything, any longer lead times, any issues that we're seeing with
With all
plants.
your folks?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, with other contractors, other CMs that we're working with, we kind of have a database. So as a firm, we are tracking those things, which then keeps me and my staff in the loop. So then we can make sure that if we have shop drawings, we know which ones are critical to get out right away. So we're not delaying anything. We can make sure that we're pushing the contractor if we know that there's a delay on something or we're seeing something. We can ask them uphand, you know, where are these things, where are these things? We want to make sure that we're being on track with those. One of the other things is on our construction meetings, we'll have kind of a 2-week look ahead from a schedule standpoint.
Is that with the contractor?
Yep, that's with the contractor, and so we would make sure that that aligns with our overall schedule that we have.
Mhm.
And if any time we see there's an issue, we're gonna need them to
Do
justify
you
that.
feel that there's a sincerity with the contractor, that what they're telling you matches what your research is telling you in the delays?
It is.
It is?
The steel is the only one on this project right now that we've seen. Like I said, we've been tracking a number of other ones. And so there's a few others out there that are pretty prominent at the moment. And so we're just making sure that even before we get there, knowing we're months ahead on some of these, that we're doing everything we can at the moment to make sure that those aren't an issue.
Yeah,
Question
Diane?
for you.
Oh,
Oh.
go ahead, excuse me. No, go ahead, Cindy.
Is this a realistic completion date? I would hate to see us have you come back in another month and say, well, now it's going a couple months more. You know, we've been really excited to do this project. And all of a sudden, it's over the budget. Now we can't get the product. Now we're kicking it down. I'm waiting for you to come and bring us some happy news that we can be excited about. You know, stuck the shovel in the ground and they opened Pandora's box. The wheels are coming off the wagon, it seems. So I want to ask, is this a realistic finish date?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yep, I have had, and Joel and I have had numerous conversations about this schedule. I've had numerous conversations with the contractor, making sure that if there was anything that I saw that was maybe a red flag, that we talked about it so I understood where they were coming from. And I believe that this is a very realistic schedule.
Okay.
So you agree, Cindy, were you finished?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So since John signed this letter to us, which I'm sure you're familiar with, did you and John have any debate about this? Do you agree with John's signature being on this letter?
I do, yes. He did sign the contract, or the contract documents as well,
Okay,
so.
okay, because if
Yep.
there was any bickering back, I want to know about it, John, okay? All right, thanks, Michelle, okay, thank you.
If this pushes out to March 7,
Yeah.
does that change anything for price-wise, or is that all locked in with
It's
the
all-
suppliers
yep.
as now?
It is all locked in, and that's one of the other things we're checking right now. You know, once we get shop drawings in, okay, where's our lead time issue? Where are we going? At the moment, there are no issues that we are foreseeing at the moment with what we've seen, what we're getting, and what we're tracking. So,
Okay, are you going to some of the meetings?
Yes, yeah.
So-
We have
Send John
a
up here
meeting
next
on
time.
Wednesday morning.
Okay,
Next
so,
Wednesday,
so,
yep.
so Scott and Joel are sitting in these meetings and,
yep,
Okay,
yep.
so
So our
you're-
Yep.
first official construction meeting will start on next Wednesday. It'll be at 9 o'clock, and then it'll be every other week is when we have them.
Are they here?
Nope, they'll be at the trailer on site.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. And what time is that, 9 o'clock? Wednesday, next Wednesday? Great. I'll bring donuts. Do they eat donuts over there?
Everybody eats donuts.
Perfect, I love it. Sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
That's how you grow a police department.
He's a bad person, Scott. Oh,
Back row.
Here we go, here we go. Now the
His
truth
mouth's
comes
watering.
out. Oh, my God. Sorry I opened my mouth.
All right.
That's all.
All right.
Anything else on change order number 1?
I think the biggest thing is if we hit our numbers, you know, and if it does take another month, and not from this,
Nope.
but if it takes another month or whatever from the original, you know, it is a terrible year to be building, you know, and you know, people you've worked with forever that supply your products, they can't. You know, I don't know why, but
Right.
that's bigger than us.
Right. And I'm sure it's not just building, it's everything. I mean, it's
Yep.
roads, it's
Right.
anything you build, the
Go
whole
try to buy a
supply
new
chain.
car right now.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
So,
Well, I'll make a motion to approve change order number 1 to amend the contract to substantial completion date of March 7th, 2022.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second.
second by Councilperson Pierre. Any further discussion?
No, Your Honor.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Go
carries.
get him, Michelle. And John. Okay.
I think it's Melissa, but.
Oh, Melissa, I'm sorry.
No.
You know, hey, listen, I can use old age now. It's great. I couldn't do it when I was young, but now I can. It's perfect. But thank you. Thanks for backing me up. That was a test, and I think I failed. Anyway, okay, thanks.
Consider, all right, thank you. Consider approval of resolution 2021-36, a resolution designating an official appointment to the Lonsdale Public Library Board. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. With the recent change in the Lonsdale Public Library Board bylaws, there was a change to make the council position that's appointed for a 3-year term to a liaison, so that created an opening or a vacancy on the library board. So Director Marguerite Moran solicited applications. We did receive one. The mayor, Marguerite, and myself interviewed Mary Tupy last Friday?
Turek, I think.
Turek, I'm sorry. Last Friday. The proposed term would be consistent with what Councilmember Cherney's was, December 31st of 2022. So, staff would
Okay.
recommend approval.
Yeah, she gave a good interview, pretty interested in the library, willing to volunteer and all those kind of things, so
And
yeah.
I wanted to thank the council, Your Honor, for allowing me to pursue this and go forward with it. I feel real good about it, and so do the folks. It just gets more involvement in the citizenry, and so thank you,
Sure,
guys.
sure.
If you approve it.
Joel, I'm curious, Steve's term is the end of 2021.
Yeah, here's
December
what's happening
2021.
with this whole thing, Scott. You want me to, or is that directed at Joel? or you
Yeah,
want me to
I
talk
didn't
about it?
understand, I didn't know if that
No,
was.
actually, when the way that the bylaws were, they were 3-year terms.
Okay,
I mean, we did appoint on an annual basis, but we tried for
Okay.
consistency. There was a couple years that there wasn't.
okay, all right, that's fine, I just didn't know if that was a mistype or.
Oh, no.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, not a problem. You know what you're doing, I'm not gonna argue.
Well, I don't, hey, please don't label me. Okay.
So anyway, I'll entertain a motion on the resolution.
moved.
Motion by
Second, Your Honor.
Councilperson,
If I
there a
can.
second by Councilman Cherney. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, thank you.
Consider approval of the following liquor licenses: Lonsdale American Legion On Sale Club and Sunday Liquor, Whistle Stop Tavern and Grill On Sale and Sunday Liquor, Lonsdale Lions 3.2% on sale, Lonsdale Liquor Off Sale, Lonsdale Baseball Association 3.2% on sale, and Smoke LLC On Sale and Sunday Liquor. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. City Code 110.27, terms and expiration of license is what dictates when liquor licenses are valid. In Lonsdale, they're January 1st through June 30th. Mayor Rude listed off the licenses that are approved on an annual basis. This wouldn't include any of the application and permits for temporary 1 to 4 day temporary liquor licenses. Staff is not aware of any reason not to approve them. The chief of police has reviewed them and signed off on them as well. All of the applicants submitted all of the required information and staff would recommend approval of the requested liquor licenses.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval to make a conditional job offer to Gerald Pavick as the seasonal public works employee at grade 1, step 6, $14.92 an hour. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Well, this isn't the first time this has been brought to you guys. Hopefully, it's the last for this year. The Public Works Director, or received an application from Mr. Pavick, Public Works Director, and myself interviewed him middle of last week, I believe it was. He interviewed well. We do have the need for one additional staff person in Public Works. I won't bore you guys with the budget. You've heard it 3 times, 4 times before.
We'll do
But
6 more meetings.
we're looking at
I had to throw that in.
True thirds.
making the schedule work. I believe we tentatively said Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and we'll work within the budgeted amount for seasonal workers.
We need all the help we can get, it appears. So I move we approve.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of application for payment number 2 in the amount of $129,355.28 to BCM Construction, Inc. for the 2021 Street and Utility Improvement Project. Mr. Powell.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. The substantial completion date for this project is September 10th of this year. Final completion date for the Bituminous Square Course is June 30th of next year. BCM proposes and is proceeding to construct the project in 2 phases. Phase 1 basically be in 4th Avenue and Delaware from 3rd to 4th. Phase 2 be in the remainder. As of today, water main replacement and storm sewer installation has been completed in Phase 1. They have placed the sand on Delaware from 3rd to 4th and on 4th from the south end up to Delaware, and they expect to finish continuing north with the sand tomorrow and maybe early next week, and then they'll start importing aggregate base. They indicated that they will likely start reclaiming in Phase 2 sometime the week of June 21st. So they're kind of getting to the end of the road work in Phase 1, so they want to take advantage of the dry, though very hot weather, and start, working in the Phase 2 area. So the City Council is being requested to consider pay approval or pay voucher number 2 for $129,355.28. The cutoff date for this pay voucher is May 31st. Work items included in the voucher is pavement reclamation, sewer repair, water main and service installation, and storm sewer structure replacement, and some new storm sewer installation. Based on quantities to date and the work progress, construction costs are tracking at or near budgeted amounts. And with this payment, about 16% of the original contract value will have been paid. And the payment does reflect the standard 5% retainage as required by the contract. Staff's recommendation is to approve pay voucher number 2 to BCM Construction in the amount of $129,355.28.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilperson Fuhr. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of application for payment number 1 in the amount of $37,658 to McNamara Contracting Incorporated for the Industrial Park Drive Southeast Mill and Overlay Project. Mr. Powell.
Mayor and City Council members, on one of the most expedited construction projects we've had recently, the pre-construction meeting was held on May 12th and the construction was completed the following week. So the final completion date was actually July 30th. So we had the pre-construction meeting, they got in and got it done. City Council is being asked to approve pay voucher 1 in the amount of $37,658 to McNamara Contracting. Work includes the edge milling and the 2-inch bituminous pavement overlay. Construction costs are tracking below budgeted amounts, and with this payment, 83% of the original contract value will have been paid. So this project will end up under budget. The only reason this isn't a final is because the contractor didn't have their final submittals ready. I've since received those, so we've put the final and the change order together, and that'll be coming back to you at a July meeting. Staff's recommendation is to approve pay voucher 1 to McNamara Contracting in the amount of $37,658.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second.
second by Councilman Cherney. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This upcoming meetings, the June 17th at 6 PM is the budget meeting, the 25th is the council meeting, and July 8th is the 7 PM is the council meeting. Department reports, Mr. Vlesak.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, there's been a lot going on, milling, paving, we're televising and jetting sanitary sewers. We have a contractor in town doing that. We are going to start hauling material back to the Trista Park and backfill line curb. We've got a lot of grading out there to be done yet. So irrigation up and running, plants are looking good and growing. We are having some electrical issues with keeping our wells running. Excel is lagging on power. So last night and tonight we're running generators. It's about noon or 2 o'clock. They're not providing us enough electricity. So it's throwing out our VFDs and shutting off our wells. So we're running generators to maintain.
Are those diesel generators?
Yeah.
Do we have enough diesel fuel to keep them going in case this rolling blackout continues?
So far, yeah.
Okay.
But, we are looking at ordering diesel fuel, so we think hopefully tomorrow we'll get a break and we won't have to worry about it over the weekend, but we do have enough fuel to get through the weekend.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Is that something that, we're not on like a lot of the companies sign up for cheaper electric rates if they can go on off-peak or, during peak. We're not on that, I would assume, correct?
We are not. We have looked at that and tried to get on that program. Our generators are too old to be able to go on that program. We had quotes of $30,000 to retrofit them to go on the program, but
Like my question is, so why are they not supplying us enough power?
they can't supply it. It's just, they're maxed out.
Is this because there's such a demand on water?
No, it's more of a demand on electricity right now.
Okay.
Our water is being used right now, but that is not really what's causing us the problem.
I shared with Russ on the way in, if I may interrupt. I've been looking into this. I know people that are researching this rolling blackout that's been happening for a few days here in Minnesota. What they're telling me now, this is third-hand information, so it's not gospel, but I'll caveat it by saying that. But what's happening, based on the hacking that we saw on the East Coast and the energy grid out there, they're experimenting right now with respect to the renewable energy sources in conjunction with our non-renewable energy sources. And what they're finding out is there's some major work that needs to be done. So this is a planned thing that's happening. It's not, it's a real planned event that's happening. It's not publicized. And they're trying to do it kind of experiments to get a handle on, not so that it doesn't happen what happened over yonder. That the hacking is one issue. The other issue is blending renewable energies with the non-renewable energies, and there's a lot of software issues and interfacing with hardware issues that they're experimenting with, and that's what I'm hearing behind the scenes, from some reputable sources.
Understood. Okay.
So we will be reviewing that and talking to our representative to see if there's any credits that
Right.
issue. back to normal.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Powell?
Mayor and council members, I've updated you on the 2021 recon project. I've been providing budget, cost estimate support for both trail work and road maintenance projects for 2022 budgeting and CIP discussions. The Trichka Park, as Russ mentioned, the concrete work is all done. We've already been in contact with the contractor about a couple of issues we have out there. It was very hot the day they were placing the concrete, and I think that showed up in some of their brooming that they did on flat surfaces. And we're actually looking ahead to next year's project and what it might take to put the feasibility together for that. So as you may recall, 3rd Avenue and 4th Avenue were done in one big feasibility. So all we have to really do is repackage that as a 2022 project if that's what the council decides, and we can initiate that project.
I think we'll talk about this at a budget meeting. I assume we'll probably finish this feasibility, but I think we were talking maybe taking the year off to
Yes.
do the capital outlay and all those kind of things. So before you would go any farther, we should.
Mayor, the only thing we're doing right now is just looking at what it would take to put the updated feasibility together. We did the soil borings, we did the surveys, so if the city decides not to proceed and delays it, then when you do proceed, that data will be now 2 or 3 years old. So that would just be one of the concerns we'd have. I mean, obviously, not a lot is going to change, but when you're dealing with topographic surveys that are a few years old, some things might change. We just have to be attentive to that.
Mayor,
All
I
right,
have a question. No, go ahead.
Good, no,
Please. This is a process question. I've brought it up somewhat before, but not with any intensity. But John, when you're sitting here and you're presenting these pay vouchers for application for approval, we here in Lonsdale bringing you before us to do this when we've already approved these projects, and this is a matter of just payment out, and we've talked about this, but not at any length. Is this unique to Lonsdale? You sitting here and reading these things when we've already approved it? Couldn't they? It seems to me that they could be moved into a consent agenda.
Mayor and council members, I don't see that this is unique to Lonsdale. It's an opportunity to update you on the progress of the project as well as any budget constraints or construction issues.
Right.
In other communities, they do put them on the consent agenda.
Right.
Or add them to a disbursement list, but we've done it this way for quite some time, and it's actually not very effort intensive.
Okay, because I would rather, well, thank you, John, excuse me for interrupting. Were you finished?
Yes.
Okay, because I would rather see the pay voucher information moved to consent agenda, and if you want to update us on projects, that's more valuable for me than to listen to something that we've already approved. And it's not reprimanding you, it's not reprimanding the council or Joel, it's a process issue that I've now seen for 4 years. And I also was subjected to exactly what you said, where they moved this item to a consent agenda and we talked about project. I'm just going to bring that up as an item not to be discussed tonight, but it's something that's been on my mind.
Sure. I mean, I would just like to add what John said. It's not a lot of effort, but I think it's important for the city council to know the status of the project during construction,
I agree.
especially for the residents. I think it's important the city council knows what quantities are paid and what's been completed. I don't know, I assume you probably read the pay apps in advance.
Yes,
So you
yes,
can understand,
yeah.
but, so you got a percentage of completion. I think it's important that the city council member, each of us, has a pretty good handle on the process and the steps at each phase. I mean, it's only the few meetings during the summer that really we talk about this, but I think it's more of a knowledge thing. If the residents caught you and say, well, how far along are they? Well, I know we've got to ask the engineer, but I think here you get to show that, well, the completion is 43%.
And I agree with you. I totally agree. All I'm saying is the process, the actual talking about the payment, we've already approved that, Your Honor. We've already approved the project. But the technical aspect, hey, John, where are we at? Well, we're about 30%. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But knowing that these numbers are meaningless.
But
to me.
I think, well, before your term, we had trouble with a contractor.
Oh, you
that,
did? Okay.
it wasn't being completed on time, and you're looking at liquidated damages, and then are the quantities submitted really accurate? And
So this has been working for you all pretty well.
Yeah.
And there's a problem with pay vouchers too that weren't signed. and
Oh,
late
boy.
waivers.
Right.
I rest you guys. You
Yeah.
got a deeper history than I do,
Yeah.
so.
But I mean, it was before you, so,
Right.
Yeah.
but that's a good idea, though.
Okay,
you know.
well, thank you for hearing me out, though, so I rest that. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Nothing further.
Mr. Erickson?
Worked on EDA stuff. BRE is July 14th. Hopefully you guys all got that email at 4:30. EDA packet will go out tomorrow for our meeting next week. Work on the budget.
Speaking of budget, so for next week's meeting, will you have a summary of the status and the projected cost for the police facility? Will that be updated? So we will know, the actual anticipated cost compared to what we budgeted for?
Yeah, and I don't, well, the anticipated cost is, the bid cost, 2.3 million. That's where we're at right now. What staff was directed to do previous was review value engineering options. So that's what was presented to you at the last budget meeting. And those would be cost reductions, not cost increases. And yeah, I didn't, well.
I guess my
they
point,
didn't
you don't have to
talk
talk
about it
about tonight.
But I didn't get the information that was presented to you on the table till 3:32, I believe the email came across my computer. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely
I guess my
review
point
the-
is just for the.
the options for value engineering, but again, at the same time, I heard loud and clear, build it as we bid it.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
You're
And,
just
but
asking for an update, right,
yeah,
Karen?
yeah, I guess my point, right, we're looking for the update and the tax impact, so we all fully understand, where this thing
Yeah,
is
that
at.
that definitely tax impact and
Right,
debt service, everything, yes, will be
Okay.
presented.
right. All right, thank you. Mr. Journey?
Hey, thank you, Your Honor. There's a couple of folks, actually 3 of them last fall that came before us, had a water issue over there on Heritage Street. It'd be in that, let's see where we at, be in that quadrant of the city over there. I think it's northwest. And so I dug that file out again, and I'm glad I did, because lo and behold, got a call from them. And so I said, yeah, I'll come out and take a look at it. Sure. So I went out there on a dry run and looked at the issue and saw the work that had been done by a number of the residents. There's 4 houses involved on the one street. But anyway, so lo and behold, the last big rainstorm that we had, I thought, what an opportunity to see the real deal here. So I went out there with an umbrella and my golf rain suit and my camera and a cigar, and the cigar actually stayed dry, which is kind of cool. And I actually walked that all the yards there and filmed the water. I got some great footage for us and for them. And then I talked to Russ about it, and he's aware of that area, and it wasn't graded by any of our local folks. It was graded by Mr. Ryan, I believe is the last name, according to Russ. Is that right? Ryan, is that his last name? Ryan Contracting, okay. Long time ago. And so that was just background information. So I'm working with 2 of the folks over there, because they had their hackles up, and I said, well, let's walk through this thing. So where we're at right now is I have 3, Russ gave me 2, and I ferreted out another one that local folks have used, contractors that put drain tile in to mitigate this issue. And we're trying to keep it at a level of working diligently with them. Not here, coming before us. I said, we need to have our facts together. So I'm working with those folks out there. And they're very pleasant to work with, Jennifer and Jen, and Russ has been helping. We're calmly going through that. So that's pretty cool, but I shouldn't have had the cigar in my mouth, Your Honor, and counsel, because when I'm talking, you can kind of, I talk like W.C. Fields, but anyway, you can still understand me. But anyway, okay, setting that aside as a little side note.
That was a side note.
Yeah, as a side note. Okay. I'm working on I'm heavily involved in voter integrity in this state, not only Republican but Democrat. And I'm working on a resolution I wanted to bring before the council that addresses that, and I don't want to go in depth because I don't have it completely ferreted out yet. Might be kind of interesting we could be possibly a leader in this state, and it might kind of be exciting for us. And I wouldn't leave us hanging with it either. If people want to talk about this and step up to the plate, then they're going to have to put up, in other words, volunteers to help and that sort of thing. And that it means election judges, that more so than just begging people to be election judges. So I'm really calling folks out on that, Your Honor. So that's pretty exciting, and council. The budget process that's before us here, I constantly have said to Joel over the years, man, if we don't have to have 11 meetings or 9 meetings or 5 meetings, I'm going to keep beating that drum. If we don't have to have, I don't see any requirements that says we have to have la. I'm all for if you guys ever say, hey, Joel, let's just have maybe 3 meetings, boom, and boom, and boom, and get this damn thing wrapped up. I just want to let you know that I'm for that. Because it seems to be rather a rote routine. It's very, Joel's done a great job. He's got it down path. We plug some numbers in. We kind of give him the policy direction, and boom, boom, and a boom. And I'd rather spend time on the future of Lonsdale, the growth aspect, the moratorium that you talked about tonight, Your Honor, possibly on the capital investments, and kind of spend some time doing that. And I'm just making a pitch, and that's all. I'm not complaining. I'm just making a pitch.
Just saying.
I'm
You're
just saying it, Your Honor. And that's all I have. Thank you. Thank
So
you.
is hackles, is that the word of the night?
Hackles? Yeah, get the hackles up, yeah.
I never heard that, is that a?
Yeah, it's kind of like the hair on your neck.
Dogs get hackles up.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Upset dogs.
But I'm trying to get out that word, it's a word of the meeting. I'll be good.
Thank you.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Councilman Kadada.
We had a park board meeting on Monday evening. The majority of the meeting, we were talking about budget items. Park board's well aware that we're probably in a maintenance mode, not a big spend mode. One other thing that was brought to our attention was the Vets Memorial plaque, the little donation placards on there kept coming off. And Public Works had a great idea of gluing them on some metal and gluing the big old piece of metal down, and that seems to be working a lot better, so thank you for that. And I've got nothing but good comments of the striping on the ball fields and striping on the soccer fields and the lawn mowing. So thank you for that.
Nice, good job.
That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, sir, thank you for your work. Councilperson Furrow.
The EDA will meet next week, and they had a lunch and learn today they partnered with the Chamber of Commerce, and they had several of the utility companies in discussing different rebates and energy saving ideas and things like that.
How about like getting power to our wells?
Yes, I'm well aware of the power situation at the wells.
They did come up today,
Many days.
Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
work. Councilman Plava.
Well, as Councilperson Fuhrer said, we have the EDA coming up. I did actually want to make a correction on our upcoming meetings. June 24th is the Thursday night. The 25th would
The
be a
25th
Friday.
here is,
Yeah, so I don't want to be here on a Friday night.
We want to be here in 21 also.
What's that? Oh, they are, yeah, they're, yeah. So it's
That's a good
23rd.
point.
I didn't
It's
even
his
catch
calendar,
that.
his calendar,
Yeah.
it was the right day last
Yeah,
year.
so,
Good.
just to make sure that we have those
you're on
corrected.
the ball.
Well, I was looking at I looked at my calendar on here and I went, oh, that's not
Does
gonna
that
work.
work?
Hey, Joel, that was just a test, wasn't it, to see if we were looking at this stuff? Right?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, but otherwise, yeah, that's what we have.
Okay, a couple things. So I did get an email from Representative Lippert,
Gee.
and he would like to come to the 24th City Council meeting with a legislative update, so I said he's more than welcome. If anybody has any questions or concerns, that would be your opportunity to ask him. And then in closing, the veterans presentation on Memorial Day was just absolutely awesome. You know, Daryl and Milton and all the guys. I think even the newspaper lady, Susie Brooks, said it was one of the best presentations in the area. So I just want to give a big shout out to Legion and all their work. I know the Cindy and the ladies are involved in it too. But really nice. They did a really good job. The Veterans Memorial is just something really we should all be proud of. Really just a huge asset for our community. Really nice. So anyway, good job. Okay, until we meet again.
Adjourn.
Motion by Councilman Kadada.
Second.
Second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.